This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key. And that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Elan's Matchup Maximizer, a podcast presented by Keegan Carlson, where I, Elan Dubrovsky, take a look at next week's NHL schedule and try to suggest teams that you may want to stream players from in order to maximize your games played in your head-to-head matchups in order to win those tight matchups. The name of the game here is we're looking at the schedule. We're looking at the teams that not only play a lot, but on light days, you'll be able to fit those players into your lineup. We're looking now at the week of November 3rd to November 9th, week 5. I'm 2-2 for my couple team after this week, so it's a must-win week. I'm taking a look here, and it's a pretty good week for streaming. Only Saturday is super busy, 26 teams playing. Aside from that, you got your Tuesday, Thursday, like 20 teams and 18 teams. You probably could fit someone in. So you got to, of course, set your rosters for the week. Yahoo gave us that button back, so you could do it all with one press, and make sure you know where you have your openings. But I think as far as we're concerned for this episode, I'm just going to focus on teams that play 4 times, like avoiding Saturday, and I'm going to consider that the best schedule. Though, of course, maybe a bonus for if you're also avoiding the Tuesday, since maybe you could be full depending on your situation. But yeah, let's just dive into it here. Sorry for the late release of this episode. I was watching baseball yesterday. A little heartbroken there, but we're moving on. Hey, they made it as the Blue Jays almost won. Right? They came like within a millisecond of winning with that play at home. So hopefully Blue Jays fans aren't too upset here. We had a good ride, right? It was fun. Better than like when the Oilers lost to the Florida Panthers in the finals, and like Game 7 was so just like blowout for Florida. Not even fun. At least this was fun all the way through. But okay, so next week we got to win this matchup. The clear best team is going to be the Chicago Blackhawks. They go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. And depending on your league, you may have a lot of options of players to go for. You're not going to get Bedard. You're not going to get Nazar. If you can get Nazar, go for him for sure if you're in a super shallow league. Aside from that, maybe everyone's available. Obviously, you're not going to get Spencer Knight, I wouldn't think. But in terms of like Yahoo percent rostered, after Nazar, the next highest is Ryan Donato, 35%. I don't even think he'd be in my top 3 of who I'd be going for. Looking at the lines, I got to tell you, one name that jumps out to me, Andrei Burakovsky has jumped onto the top power play, bumping Teravainen, and he's still playing on the top line with Connor Bedard. And if you look what Burakovsky's been doing lately, it's looking pretty good. He had a goal and an assist versus Edmonton yesterday in that 3-2 loss. He had a goal the previous game versus Winnipeg, 2 assists the game before that. So Burakovsky's heating up. He's on the top line, top power play. He's got a good schedule. Seems like kind of a slam dunk. I guess another name to look at is Tyler Bertuzzi, who's also been playing on that same top power play with Bedard, Nazar, and Rinzel. And then Bertuzzi's on the Nazar line, which isn't so bad with Teravainen. So I would say you go Burakovsky number 1, Bertuzzi number 2. You may have Rinzel in free agency at this point. I'm still holding him on my couple team. So disappointed. We're now 5 games in a row without a point. He's still holding that good deployment in terms of the power play, but just not getting that much ice time outside of that, which makes him just not do much. Yeah, no points in forever, barely any hits or blocks. if it wasn't for the schedule, I'd probably be dropping Rinzel. I hate to say it, even though I know if I drop him, he'll finally start to go off. Frustrating, right? But okay. I think if he's been dropped in your league by another frustrated manager, this is the week to ride him, right? He may just be a streamer at this point, but this is the week you stream in a top power play defenseman, even if he's cold. So yeah, Rinzel. But I think in terms of like, since you can fit a forward or a defenseman either way on these bit light days, I will still take Burakovsky first, then Bertuzzi, then Rinzel. And then look, like Ryan Donato, his deployment stinks. It was good for like a moment when Burakovsky was out of the lineup and then Donato was playing on the Nazar line. I liked that for him. Now he's back to playing with like Nick Foligno and Mikheyev or something in the bottom six, not on the top power play. But there was a stretch where Donato was scoring every game. Now he's gone quiet for 2 games. I find it unlikely that he'll go like 4 games this week quiet. So if you have Donato or if you stream him in, I have him actually. So again, probably someone I would be looking to drop, but I think I'm going to be holding and hoping for some magic in these 4 games. So he would be my next choice. And then you got Teravainen, kind of maybe in some ways a better spot than Donato since he's on the second line, but now he's been bumped off the top power play. Doesn't provide many shots or periffs. So yeah, then I'll go Teravainen after Donato. So that's the long list, right? Though, of people you might potentially be interested in streaming. I guess I should mention Ryan Green has been playing on the line with Bedard and Burakovsky the last couple of games. He did nothing all throughout the start of the season, but did pick up an assist against Edmonton. He also had an assist a couple games ago versus Ottawa, so that's 2 points in 3 games. You're not getting many shots or periffs, but if you want the chance of an assist or 2 while he's on the top line, like Ryan Green for your super, super deep leagues. That's Chicago. The only other team that plays 4 times avoiding the Saturday is actually the Minnesota Wild. They go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So not too bad, but obviously check to make sure you can fit in those Tuesday and Thursday games. If you can, then you're getting 4 games out of a Wild player. Who are you going to go for? So I guess one name that's interesting is Zeev Buyum, who's been bumped from the top power play lately and is pointless in 3 games. So this is, I know I'm telling you someone that's like not doing well, but this is sort of in the Rinzel category where I wonder if the Zeev Buyum manager has gotten frustrated and is dropping, and I'm not going to say they've made a mistake, but for a stream at this point, this is what I kind of like. A player who was drafted now is dropped, so is in free agency, and you're like, oh, I don't know, like he probably just stinks. Like it's probably a reason why he was dropped, but like take him as a streamer, and then who knows, maybe they actually bounce back to being what they were drafted for. Like it's not out of the question that by the end of the week, Buyum's back on the top power play and back producing like he was at the start of the year. So I think that would be a fun stream, though. Maybe it would be hard for me to not be going with like a Brock Faber instead, since Faber out of nowhere has decided to shoot the puck all the time. So he's getting like shots and blocks every single game. So you got that nice floor. He had that 1 goal, 1 assist game earlier in the week versus Winnipeg. And last week he ended with a 3 assist game versus San Jose. So pointless in 2, but I like the floor. So those are some defensemen anyways on Minnesota. I guess you probably want to know which forwards to go for. Like the one that I guess we have to stop avoiding at this point is Marcus Johansson, even though I always have so much trouble believing in Marcus Johansson, but the numbers don't lie. He's got 6 points in the last 5 games. It's a 5-game point streak. He just had an assist in 3 shots versus Vancouver yesterday, and this isn't like just a middle 6 or bottom 6 run. It's like Johansson's been playing on the line with Kaprizov and Rossi. It's a sweet spot to be. That's a good streamer. I'm sorry. Is he even available for me? I don't even know. Oh, he is. Maybe I need to put my money where my mouth is and stream in Marcus Johansson. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it, but it's a good spot. I guess the problem is it could change. Like he's Marcus Johansson. If he gets bumped from the top line, who would they put there? I don't know. Ryan Hartman. I don't know what they would do. The other main line they've had is Boldy, Erikssonek, and Tarasenko. So I guess they can flip things around a little bit. Who knows? Maybe at some point Yurov gets a shot. Since the team hasn't been winning much, they did get that win against Vancouver yesterday. But I would say Tarasenko is the other guy to look at. He just had a 1 goal, 2 assist game. He was super quiet before that, but he's had some big shot games. He had a 5-shot game and a 4-shot game over the last couple of weeks. I would take Johansson at this point as my top streamer on Minnesota. And if it's all else equal between Chicago and Minnesota, which I think it should be for a lot of people, I think I'd have, give me Burakovsky of the people I said. Maybe Bertuzzi. Yeah, take your top line, top power plays. And then I think Johansson would be above like a Donato for me at this point. So yeah, you can look like it's in the short term. I like a guy playing with Kaprizov on a hot streak. I feel like for this exercise, we don't need to go too deep. You're going like he's producing, he's on a good line. done. Okay. And if it doesn't last, if it gets bumped, then whatever, you wasted the move. You switch to someone else. Maybe if you're listening to this on Sunday, you're wasting your last move from the previous week, not even a move for week 5 here. So yeah, that's Chicago and Minnesota. We still have a bunch of teams with fun schedules. Those are the only two that, like I said, that have 4 games that avoid the Saturday. But there's definitely still some teams I'd like to look at, including ones that have a couple games to start the week on Monday, Tuesday. I always like that. So we'll take a look at some other good schedules in just a sec. The NBA season tips off, and so does DraftKings' newest fantasy game. DraftKings Pick 6 is the easiest way to play for big wins, with every possession giving you a shot at real money. Here's how to play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more stats and unlock the upside every game brings. Pick 6 is available in Texas, California, Missouri, and more. New DraftKings customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. Don't just watch basketball, cash in. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call, ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-778-9777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Lowe's, this Veterans Day and every day, verified military members, veterans, and their spouses get automatic silver status in My Lowe's Rewards with free standard shipping, plus 10% off eligible purchases with no annual limit. It's one way we honor and give back to those who have served and still do. Learn more now at lowes.com/military. 10% discount can't be combined with another offer. Exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
All right, so next up, I want to take a look at teams that play 4 times, including 2 early in the week, 2 games by Wednesday. So this is good because you're getting your 2 early games in the stream. Then you're still going to get at least 1 more light day. You're not going to fit the Saturday, but you're still going to get 1 more other day later in the week. Plus, you have the option to just drop at that point. You still got 2 games, which is pretty good for a stream, I think. So let's start with maybe the best option, which was the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers and the Predators are the only teams that play Monday, Tuesday. Edmonton is definitely interesting. They're always switching up their lines. You always have different people getting different opportunities. The guy right now on Edmonton that is maybe worth taking a look at has got to be Jack Roslovic, because he's been playing on the top power play with RNH, Draisaitl, McDavid, Bouchard. I guess the big question here is Zach Hyman, and when is Hyman coming back? So there was a tweet on October 29th, which was Wednesday, I believe, and it said Zach Hyman won't play Saturday, will be another week at least. So that would put him at not making it for those first 2 games against St. Louis on Monday and Dallas on Tuesday, which means maybe you're going to get Roslovic in at least 2 more games on Power Play 1. So that's a pretty good stream. My opponent for next week and a couple streamed in Roslovic. So hopefully I'm not going to regret not having gotten to that first. Caulfield of Dreams. Who's this? Jared. Oh man, I'm nervous. I think Jared I also saw had Burakovsky, another one of my good streamers. Meanwhile, I've got Donato and Rinzel, sadly not as streamers, but they were supposed to be like main people on my roster that now it's just like, I guess they're my streamers for the week. I think I'd rather have Roslovic and Burakovsky. But yeah, look, Roslovic just had a goal in the last game on the power play for the win over Chicago. That brings him to now 4 points in his last 4 games. At even strength, I guess that matters too. Roslovic has been playing with Draisaitl and Podkolzin, so it's like good at even strength and power play. Roslovic, we've seen him go on great runs in the past. He could also go quiet, but it seems like at this moment in time, Knobloch likes him. So Roslovic, definitely a good stream for the Monday, Tuesday. Oilers don't play again until Saturday, so I think I already broke my rule because I said I wanted at least another game, but I guess I just had to mention Roslovic as someone you may want to take a look at on the Oilers. Then you'd probably drop, I guess, especially if Hyman's going to come back after that. So just get those 2 games and move on. Another name, if you want, in a similar vein, not as good, but Podkolzin playing with Draisaitl and Roslovic at even strength. I like that Podkolzin's been shooting a little bit lately. He had 3 shots against Chicago, 5 shots the game before, also 6 hits in each of those games. So you're getting that little periph floor no matter what. And if you're playing with Draisaitl, you never know if maybe you get an assist or even a goal at some point. So Podkolzin also not a bad option, but definitely behind Roslovic. If you're curious who played with McDavid in the last game, it was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Mangiapane. And Mangiapane's just been super disappointing for fantasy. I don't think I'd go for him. I could see that line changing, or even if he stays there, maybe just not doing anything. So that's Edmonton. Nashville is the other team that goes Monday, Tuesday. They also play Thursday, Saturday. So if you can fit that Thursday also, you're getting 3 games in 4 days, which is an even nicer way to start the week. The problem is it's a player on Nashville. I guess another player I have on my Cacupful team that at this point is definitely a streamer and also probably a drop at some point. Steven Stamkos was dropped in my division. I paid 0 fab, put in a waiver claim, landed him, thought, that's pretty cool. I got Stamkos, but it is not cool having Stamkos. If you look at the game log, it is now 8 games without a point for Stamkos. He has 2 points in 13 games on the year, a mere goal and assist. And it's not the kind of thing where I'm looking at the shots column, seeing a ton of shots, like 2 or 3 shots every game. I guess you'd expect at some point something goes in. Come on. In Monday, Tuesday, Stamkos, give me something. Don't make me drop you. But I'm going to at least hold for the Monday, Tuesday and reassess. I want one of these guys I've mentioned on my team. They're probably all droppable at this point, to be honest. But okay. Give him a try. I've been starting to see articles that maybe Stamkos could be on the trade block. Like it's just a bad fit and maybe some other team would still be interested in giving him a shot, like the Canucks or the Canadians. But I guess that's probably not going to happen this week. But I mean, Stamkos could do himself a favor and do the Preds a favor by raising that trade value by getting a frickin' point. In the last game against Calgary, Stammer was playing with Marchessault and Haula. He was also on, they've been doing the power plays weirdly. In that game against Calgary, it was Stamkos, Marchessault, Bunting, and Matthew Wood on, I guess, PP1 with Blankenberg. They got the majority of the time. And then Philip Forsberg was with O'Reilly, Haula, Evangelista, and Brady Shea. I would think that would be power play 1, to be honest, one with Forsberg and Shea, but no, like in terms of the ice time, but we'll see for the next game. So kind of not good for anybody if now they're splitting power plays. I guess they're just trying to figure something out. Hey, it worked. 4-2 win over Calgary. The guy who got the big game was Michael Bunting, actually. He had a goal and 2 assists in that win. Should we recommend Michael? Look, like he also had an assist the game before versus Philly. For a Monday, Tuesday stream, maybe you just take a hot Michael Bunting at even strength, though. Bunting's playing with Fedor Svechkov and Matthew Wood. So 2 kind of fun young players. Like that could be a good pair to be playing with at some point. I know Wood also had a good game there against the Flames. Like Wood is also someone, I guess, in your super deep league, maybe you look at. He had a goal and an assist versus the Flames and a goal also the game before versus Philly. 3 and 4 shots I'd love to be seeing. It's like Stamkos has got to be... I mean, come on, Stamkos. If Matthew Wood can do it, I feel like you should be able to do it. You can't be totally cooked. You're just 2 seasons away from a 40-goal season. I guess it helps playing with Kucherov. But even like 27 goals last year is not nothing. But anyways, yeah. So Matthew Wood and Michael Bunting could be interesting. I guess it obviously depends how deep your league is. You could obviously go for like a Ryan O'Reilly. He's still like not heavily rostered at this point, only 22%. So maybe he's available. Maybe Marchessault's available. I would take those 2. My order would definitely be Marchessault first, then O'Reilly. Then I guess you got to say Stamkos, even though it's like there's nothing to back that up except his name. But then, yeah, then go for like a Bunting or a Matthew Wood. And I guess that's it. I guess you go for defenseman. Go for a Blankenberg or a Brady Shea. I mean, it's Nashville. They could get shut out both games. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so that is the Preds. Those are our teams that play Monday, Tuesday. Another good schedule to start the week has got to be the St. Louis Blues going Monday and then Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So assuming you can fit the Thursday, it's just, again, like 3 games in 4 days. Hard to argue with that, but also hard to like pitch for St. Louis when they have so much trouble Like, you're not going to get a Kyrou. Rob Thomas, I would love for Rob Thomas to come back just to like help the other people on the team. Looks like he might be close. Like, the fact that they keep saying like he won't play like on Saturday, it was like he won't play Saturday. The fact that they're even saying it, and then Thursday was like not expected to return Thursday, must mean they think it's close. So maybe he even comes back for Monday versus Edmonton. We'll see if we have any data on the mega show that we can share, which by the way, I'm going to be recording with Brian in just a few hours from now. It's going to be a busy day. So yeah. Anyways, who are we looking for on the St. Louis Blues? I got to be honest. It's hard to say. They're coming off now a 3-2 loss to Columbus. I don't really want to recommend a goalie. Like, I guess whoever plays Monday will probably be Binnington, and then he'll get one of those games Wednesday, Thursday. At this point, those are like almost all negatives. Hofer actually had finally a good game on Saturday in the 3-2 loss. Got positive cupful points. Can you believe it? As far as the line combination, so Kyrou was playing with Dvorsky and Matthew Joseph. So welcome to the league, Daliver Dvorsky. Hasn't done too much. It's only played 2 games now, but no points, only 3 shots total. Then I guess what's our other like scoring line? Buchnevich, Braden Shen, and Snuggerud. Yeah, so who's probably all these people are available, right? I guess I didn't even go through the names. Like Holloway at this point, 63% rostered. He's actually on a really nice run there. So if somehow he was dropped in your super shallow league, I would definitely be jumping back on Holloway now. 4 points in 5 games. Aside from him, you'll probably have some of these guys available. Maybe Buchnevich is available, so you can go for him. Snuggerud is like kind of hot and cold. He had a really nice start. He scored a goal a couple games ago, 4 shots yesterday versus Columbus, but pointless. So I wouldn't mind taking a shot on Snuggerud for the 3 points in 4 games. That's also the kind of guy that who knows if maybe he starts to get going, especially when Thomas comes back, and then he ends up being a longer-term hold. Jake Neighbors is injured, unfortunately. I don't know. Braden Shen is just like we know. Braden Shen, like maybe he'll get a goal or an assist or something in like one of those 3 games. Probably won't do much else. So I'm not too interested in Shen. You can go for a defenseman, especially if you have room on the Saturday also. Like Justin Falks finally scored a goal in the last game. He's been blocking at least like 2 or 3 blocks most of the games to go along with like 2 or 3 shots, maybe a point. It looks like Falk got the majority of the power play time. It was at this point with Thomas out anyways, the Kyrou power play is the top power play, and Falk has been quarterbacking that. Though Fowler hasn't been nothing. He also had some points in a recent game. Yeah, he had 2 assists 2 games ago versus Vancouver in the 4-3 loss. But at this point, I'd probably go Falk as my top defenseman, which maybe isn't saying much. But yeah, so where did I land here? Snuggerud, of the people who likely are available in like a league like a Cupful, a deeper league, probably Snuggerud or go for a Justin Falk. I do like 3 games in 4 days. You only need to have 1 or 2 good games out of the 3, and it's like kind of worth it for the stream compared to what you would have gotten if you just took someone playing 2 times in those games, in those days, I should say. The Vancouver Canucks are another team that gives you 2 early games in the week, Monday, Wednesday, and then they come back with Saturday, Sunday. So you could potentially get those 2 early games and decide if you're going to keep your Canucks streamer for that weekend for the Sunday game. The options aren't great, unfortunately. Like, unless you get Kiefer Sherwood. Sherwood has been nuts. Had that hat trick against St. Louis. I guess nothing in the last game against Minnesota in terms of points, but still 4 hits. It's 4 or 5 hits every single game, Garrett. Literally, actually, every game this season has been 4 or 5 hits, except for the first game of the season, where he had 6 hits. So Kiefer Sherwood, I wish I drafted him, man. He's so reliable for that base. And then, yeah, he has these like big goal games that could like win you a week. Those 17 cupful points in that hat trick. Jeez. Okay. So, but if you can't get Sherwood, like you look at the lines, you see a Jake DeBrusk, for example, who is only 22% rostered. Top line with Pettersson and Besser in the last game. Top power play with those guys and Sherwood and Phil Hronek because Quinn Hughes has been injured. But DeBrusk just nothing. Game in, game out. 4-game pointless streak. Odds are, I'd say he gets a point in those 2 games, Monday, Wednesday. I think it's reasonable to expect that. So it's not the worst stream for sure. And it's one of those streams that could be a hold. Like he's a guy who was drafted in most leagues and he's like, getting paid and gets good deployment. It's just been a super disappointing season for DeBrusk overall. Like we're looking at 4 points in 13 games now. I guess it's better than Steven Stamkos. Another name that maybe you'd be looking at. Okay, so Hronek, right? If like Quinn Hughes continues to be out, Hronek pointless in 3. He hasn't taken advantage of the Hughes injury, but he's taking a lot of shots. Like it's possible one of those could have gone in. He did have 3 assists in 4 games before this recent 3-game pointless streak. So again, I think Hronek's probably going to get you an assist in those 2 games. That would be my guess. Maybe some shots. So if you wanted to, and then that also could be someone you hold also for Saturday if you could fit it in a D on Saturday. So Hronek isn't too bad. Too bad Connor Garland's injured. And then I guess you can look at like an Evander Kane, who does have 2 assists in his last 4 games and did take 4 shots yesterday against Minnesota, which is what I was kind of like hoping for when I thought Kane could be a decent pick. If he can do like 3-4 shots a game, that's pretty interesting. There was like a brief moment where Kane got back to the top power play that's quickly gone away. And the even strength deployment isn't amazing. I mean, he is playing with Kiefer Sherwood, who I just said is like so great. So, but we're looking at like Kane, Sherwood, Reichel for a lot of that last game versus Minnesota. Maybe the Canucks will shake it up again since they did just take this bad 5-2 loss. So, yeah, I mean, Evander Kane like should be a decent floor bet if you can get 3 of those games, or at least those 2 early games, then you could always decide to move on. So not the worst. I think I'd go DeBrusk over Kane, even though probably I could see definitely Kane doing better. Like if they both do badly, then I expect Kane to be better. But I feel like DeBrusk has the bigger game potential. Like he could have like a 2-point game. I'll be surprised if I see Evander Kane get 2 points in a single game. So that's the Canucks. We could look next at, I mean, there's a few teams that I think fit this bill of like you get a decent early week stream. The Utah Mammoth go Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, Sunday. So theoretically, you can get one of those Monday guys, or maybe you have a Monday guy. Maybe you're like me and you have like a Donato, and you're like, fine, I'll give you one more game to prove yourself. But if you stink again, then I'm dumping you for a Utah Mammoth player. But Utah's tricky because they're hard to stream from. Like all their stars are taken. You're not getting Keller, Sergachev, Gunther, Cooley, Schmaltz, Paterka. And then who's left? Nobody. So I don't even know why I'm bringing them up. Barrett Hayton. Do you want Barrett Hayton? Maybe. Probably not. He's still centering the Keller-Schmaltz line. But Keller and Schmaltz aren't what they used to be. That's not like the main story. You want someone on the Cooley and Gunther line. Keller is pointless in his last 3 games. So, yeah, he was drafted probably as the top Utah Mammoth, and I think that a lot of people are regretting that when they could have had a Gunther at that spot. But okay, Barrett Hayton, for what it's worth, did score in the last game, a 6-3 loss to Edmonton. Utah's playing today. I'm recording this Sunday afternoon, like I said. So they're playing soon against Tampa Bay. We'll see how he does there. I don't know. I'm not too interested, but if you want to take someone for, if you have the Monday, then you're looking at the Tuesday, Wednesday. I believe, yeah, Utah's the only team that plays Tuesday, Wednesday, so you can get those 2 games, and yeah, maybe you get an assist or something. I wouldn't bank on it though. I don't think, but he is the best option of those guys. We can look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. They play Monday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, Sunday. On Toronto, so they do keep switching up those lines, trying to find who's going to work best with Matthews. So the latest game against Philly, where the Leafs won, they had Matthews and Matthew Nyes playing with Nicholas Robertson. Robertson the Lesser, as I've heard him referred to as, and Robertson had himself a decent game, 1 goal and 1 assist, and he also had the same result the game before in the 6-3 loss to Columbus, 1 goal, 1 assist. So that's 2 goals, 2 assists in the last 2 games for those who are good at math like me. Playing on the top line, I'd imagine that's not going to change, at least for Monday, after a win. And it's will be against Pittsburgh. I know like Jari's been good, but maybe that's the type of game where they can get some goals, get some momentum going. So I don't think you're doing too bad there with Nicholas Robertson. I guess Max Domi was on the top power play, playing with Nyes, Matthews, and Tavares because Nylander was out. I guess the big question is, what's the deal with Nylander? What's the deal? So Nylander at this point, the latest was just he won't play tonight. So again, similar to the injury I was referring to before, maybe he'll be back Monday and then everything will switch around. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they keep Robertson on that top line and then Nylander can go back to his comfy spot with John Tavares, where they spend a lot of time. And I guess in the last game it was Tavares, Bobby McMahon, and Easton Cowan. So we'll see like who holds one of those spots. If Nylander comes back, we did have at the start of the year, right? It was Tavares, Nylander, and McMahon. So maybe they just go back to that. And just go back to like everything normal except on the top line instead of Michelli, I think, who was there, or Domi, it's Nicholas Robertson taking a turn. So, yeah, Robertson interests me. I want to see. Like, he's a decently high pedigree guy who never really got an opportunity, especially not like a top 6 opportunity. We're looking now at 2 straight 2-point games. Let's see. Let's see what he can do, right? I'd have him above Barrett Hayton. I'll put it that way. And okay, one last team I'll bring up is the Seattle Kraken. They also play Monday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, Sunday. I could name players on every team, right? That's what the mega show's for. So I haven't actually prepped that yet. It's been a crazy weekend. So as soon as I'm done recording this, I'll start getting to work on coming up with what the docket is going to be for the big mega show in just a few hours. Will we talk about the Kraken? I guess every week there's someone who is going off on Seattle and it's always someone different. last week, who was it? Like Eberle or Schwartz? I think Jaden Schwartz is like just continuing to be good. Like he's now 2 straight games now with an assist. So I think he's just your best bet. Capo Caco came back to the lineup, did nothing in his return. Probably you can get Matty Beniers. He's only rostered in 12% of leagues. Beniers gets the best deployment on Seattle. Just doesn't do much with it, unfortunately. But so the lines have been for what it's. I don't even think it matters. But like Beniers, Eberle, and Berkeley Catton, and then Schwartz playing with Stevenson and Tolvanen, and then Marchment, Shane Wright, and Capo Caco. So just like a very balanced looking top 9 there. And then the top power play has been quarterbacked by Vince Dunn. Has been Eberle, Stevenson, Tolvanen, Beniers. I don't know if maybe even that second power play looks more dangerous with Jaden Schwartz and Marchment and Wright and Caco and Montour. Montour's super hot. He's the one that you can't stream in, right? But he's scored 3 goals in his last 2 games. Of the forwards, for a Monday, Wednesday, I'm going to go with Jaden Schwartz. That's my pick. Who knows? Then, I don't know, Eberle, maybe. Beniers. Stevenson. It's all the same. Shane Wright. Flip a coin. Tolvanen. Tolvanen had assists in each of the last couple games. So you can have your fun with the Kraken as they go up against Chicago and San Jose. Those should be teams that they can score a lot of goals against. So you might be in on something if you get the right Kraken player. It's just a matter of taking that chance. Schwartz could be like a longer term hold also for what it's worth. Like maybe Schwartz is a decent guy. He has 10 points, 11 games. At some point we have to stop disrespecting him. He was just added. God, I'm having some regrets here. Maybe I should have gone for Jaden Schwartz when I had the chance. We'll see if he stays rostered or if he goes back to free agency at some point. Okay, well, anyways, hope everyone enjoyed this episode of Matchup Maximizer. Again, I'm liking Burakovsky and like a Johansson for like those 4 games. If you can get them this week, I think those would be my top picks, or like a Bertuzzi. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear from you in the Keeping Karlsson Discord. If you're a patron, we have a Matchup Maximizer channel. I'd love to know if you enjoyed the show, if you went for any of the picks based on something I said. And I'll be back, like I said, at you soon with the Mega Show, and then we'll have another week of short shifts. And just make sure to subscribe to Keeping Karlsson to get all of our content. Good luck in week 5. See ya.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.